Hey everybody, Dr. John Michael Salvato, your organic living and peak performance coach, and welcome Tommy, and for those who are going to be jumping on as we continue, we welcome you as well. Today is day 36 in our 200-day Mindshift Mastery Series, and the focus of today's Mindshift is, is it convenience or is it commitment? And that might seem like kind of a funny topic to have for for our discussion purposes. It might seem a little out of the ordinary, but here's what I want folks to really stop and think about. In our daily in our daily method of operation, whether that's our business, whether that's schooling, whether that's personal relationships, whether that's our community or church work, or our physical health, we have a choice of whether we have systems in place, or whether we strictly go for convenience. And a few months back, some of you remember in the beginning of the program, there was a young man who used to be a part of this group who said, I refuse to work by a schedule. I refuse to have structure. Nobody is going to force me to have a structure in my business. And it's unfortunate that young man made those kinds of decisions, and I think that's why we saw exactly what happened with him losing 50% of the people that were in his sales team, because there was no commitment there. I deal with people on a daily basis whom I absolutely love and adore, but who lack all structure in their lives. They imagine, the ego has convinced them that they somehow have some magical skills that they can just kind of float by the seat of their pants and they'll still get everything done. Well, I promise you, life doesn't work that way. You ask those people where their calendar is, and they don't keep a calendar. I'm sorry, but if you aren't keeping a calendar, you aren't planning your day. And if you're not planning your day, then you're flying by the seat of your pants. So don't expect fantastic results. And some of these people are people who absolutely should know better, because we've come through the same training, we've come up from the same places, and we've seen in our own personal lives the value of using these tools on a daily basis. So one of the things I ask people right away when we talk to them, and understand, when we're talking in terms of business, and the Monday through Thursday discussion groups are principally focused on business building tools, entrepreneurial mind shifts. And so when I'm talking to somebody, I don't recruit people. I never have, and I never will. I interview people. And when I'm interviewing them, I'm looking for people who possess the qualities that I'm looking for. People who don't have a clear sense of why they're looking to make extra money are not people I'm interested in working with. People who haven't made a commitment or aren't willing to make a commitment to set aside 2 to 3 hours a day, 3 to 4 days a week, in order to grow their business are not people that I'll work with. Somebody who says, no, I will not make 5 to 10 telephone calls every single day is not somebody that I'm ever going to work with. It's really that simple. But you see, we live in a world in which we're always looking for the shortcut. And sometimes when we don't look for it, we look for the shortcut, but sometimes those shortcuts end up making whatever we're trying to accomplish take 2 to 3 to 4 times as much time. I'll give you a great example of working with somebody on a project recently, and they knew that they had a very specific deadline that they had to meet, and that deadline was not very. We didn't have a whole lot of time to accomplish a whole lot of stuff, but because that person didn't sit down and say, okay, let's schedule an hour a day that we're going to focus on this project and we're going to get it done. Instead, every single day, some new moment of drama, some new distraction, some new, something demanding their time and their attention came up. And before you know it, 2 weeks were gone, and then 2.5 weeks. And then, then your project gets out of focus. And chances are, if that happens in your life once, it's happened over and over and over again. You can look back at what you've accomplished in your life, and if you find out that you're the kind of person who gets great ideas and you start these phenomenal projects that can go, take you straight to the moon, but after about 30 days or 2 weeks or 7 hours, you've dropped the ball. The chances are not that you're not a good person, not that you don't have fantastic ideas. The chances are you've never made a commitment to follow up. You lack follow-up skills, you lack organizational skills, and you lack what it takes to be successful until you make a mind shift. And that's what today's opportunity is. It's that opportunity to make that powerful mind shift. Now, one of the tools I'm going to recommend for you guys today, and if you feel yourself resisting this tool, then I promise you this, you're the one who needs it more than anybody else. And the tool is called Calendly, Calendly. It's calendly.com. It's a calendar system, really very simple, nothing extraordinary about it. But you set this calendar up, you attach it to your Gmail account, and we're going to be talking about our Gmail accounts in a moment. And then whenever you're going to do something, see, when I'm going to make telephone calls, I put it on my calendar. When I'm going to be doing an interview with somebody, I put it on my calendar. When I'm doing a presentation, I'm going to put it on my calendar. This morning, I took a look at my calendar, actually last night, as I was planning my week. And on Sundays, I plan my entire week. And then every night before the following day, I plan the following day. So what happened was I looked at my calendar and I said, you know what? I really would like to be doing more live presentations for my primary business. It's really time to step things up. Some of the people that I have in my primary business don't seem to be very serious or focused. They're not action takers. They're not clear enough on their why. So I'm going to start doing live presentations and start from scratch. And I decided on a time frame I wanted to do that. As a result, these daily discussion groups that we're having are going to be at 1:30 Eastern time, Monday through Friday. So our 1 o'clock, our normal 1 o'clock Inner Alchemy program on Fridays is now at 1:30, and our daily 2 o'clock shows are now going to be at 1:30. And so we're going to do those from now on at that time frame, because I looked at my time and said, look, in order to make things work in my life, I need to be able to readjust some of these things. Now, during the course of the day, if somebody says to me, hey, you know what, John Michael, I would love to talk with you tomorrow. What's your schedule look like? I can be driving. I could be walking down the street. I could be in the middle of another call, and I could just shoot them a quick little message back, which, by the way, I have saved on a notepad that I can just copy and paste. It says, I would love to talk with you. Here, let's do this. Take a look at my calendar link. And when you go to my calendar link, you will see what my schedule's like for the next couple of days. Pick a time that works for you. You'll be scheduling 30 minutes, and I schedule 30-minute time slots. You don't get an hour with me, you get 30 minutes with me. Because if we can't accomplish what we need to accomplish in 30 minutes, we didn't plan for that time of talking together. So I really recommend you guys try this. And you may not use it every single day. You might only use it once a week for now. But as your life begins to go on, and then every time somebody books something with Calendly, it goes on your Google Calendar. So that if something comes up, you have a doctor's appointment, let's say on Wednesday afternoon at 1 o'clock, as long as you put that in your phone on your Google Calendar, then when somebody goes to Calendly and tries to book an appointment, it's going to say that time period's not available. You know, if you decide that you want to take some time off and do something, you take that time off and do something. See, my friends who don't follow up very well and who never follow through on things and let time get away from them, the reason time gets away from them is because they wait until the moment and decide, I'm going to go take a walk, or I'm going to go do this, and because they don't have a calendar, they forgot that yesterday they said, let's talk at 1 o'clock, or let's talk at 3 o'clock, or let's talk at 4 o'clock. And so when you try and reach them, they're out, taking a walk or playing tennis or at the mall or whatever it happens to be. So when you have things on a calendar, you can live your life really more fully. You can get more into your life. It doesn't mean that you can't decide you're going to take a spur of the moment trip, but it means that you when you're going to take that spur of the moment trip, you're sure that you're not screwing off on something that a commitment that you made. You're not going to miss a deadline. You're not going to lose production points for the next level of advancement in your business or whatever it is that you're trying to work toward. Scheduling that time. If you're in school, if you're in, you're, like my partner Craig is in university, he uses his calendar so that he knows that if somebody calls him up and says, hey, let's go to lunch on Wednesday, he knows that he can't do that because he's got classes. He knows that if somebody wants to do something during the afternoon, they want to go to lunch, he's got time available on Fridays because he's in school from Monday to Thursday during certain periods of time from like 8 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then he's got study time on his calendar. And then he's got study time that's booked on Friday too, but he made sure Friday he opened up some blocks of time so that there could be balance. And that's what's really important too. So you see, in our lives, we're either making a conscious effort toward commitment or toward convenience. And it's certainly more convenient to not have a schedule. It's also spiritually and personally immature to not have a schedule. And that might sting a little bit, as I know it did for me some 30 some years ago when Jim Rohn said, because I said, I don't need a schedule because I live in the moment. And he said, and then that's just a sign of complete immaturity. And if you really want to do this as a business, then you need to have the maturity to say, I'm going to commit to a schedule. It doesn't mean you're not living in the moment. It means that you have a schedule and you know what you're going to be doing in that moment, and you stay focused in that moment. And I promise you, this might make no sense, but when I work from a schedule, the better organized my schedule is, the more I'm able to stay present in that moment, because I'm not sitting here in the middle of doing this show thinking about what I'm going to be doing when the show is over. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. There are things that are going on in my life where some people have, are not working from a schedule. Some of their commitments have kind of been dropped. Some of the things that I planned to be doing with them or for them are all askew. But I have no reason to worry about that because I did my part. My schedule was cleared for a certain period of time. And if the other person doesn't show, that's on them. I don't have to worry. I don't have to get out of this moment. I don't have to not be present to you because somebody else isn't present to me. So it's very freeing. And as a result, we're able to be more effective and people become more attracted to us because they see that there's this balance. They see that it's, last week when the tragedy just really rocked my world and really threw me for a loop. I blocked time on my calendar every single day to just sit and just be with that grief. And I blocked, a period of time every single day. And it was only during that period of time that I would look at social media because I knew the stories were going to be coming up. I knew that, connecting with some of my friends, trying to find the 4 friends we're still waiting to hear from was going to come up. I knew that, thankfully, only one acquaintance in addition to the 3 friends that we lost, turned up to be among the dead. Somebody that I didn't even expect was going to be there that night. I had time blocked to be gentle to me, and sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes scheduling means scheduling time for you to be able to heal, to regenerate, to get your thoughts together, or maybe it's just to allow some time for you to be able to get out and connect with the earth. Go take a walk, do some grounding, breathe some fresh air. So all of these things are important. Now, in addition to using Calendly, I'm going to be taking this concept of teaching you guys a little better structure. We had hoped to do this with the blog, but for whatever reason, some people have a mental block about using the blog like every other blog in the universe. So we're going to do this. I'm going to be creating a group within Google Plus, and that specific group, I'm going to add all of you to my friends. I'm going to give you instruction in the Facebook group on how to go in there and add me to your circles, and you're all going to be invited to this specific group where all of these Mindshift events are going to be located. So that if you happen to have fallen behind, one of our friends, Jen, is going to be traveling. She may not have access to the internet every single day, but she'll be able to go into the Google Plus group, and she'll be able to see the events, excuse me, from tomorrow going forward, we'll say, where she'll see day 37 and day 38 and day 39, and she can watch those at her discretion. And then I'll try to take some time over the next week to make sure that I put the first 34 sessions in there as well. I will. So don't even count on being able to get into the group. We'll say until next week. I'll make sure that the group is created. I'll make sure that there's a place for them to start archiving things. But I'm going to go in and personally put in the 5 or 6 hours of archiving the first 35 manually, so that there's now going to be a place where you can go and just watch the videos if reading a blog is too much work for you. And yes, that was a little bit of sarcasm there, because I don't understand why more people aren't reading the blog, because there's additional content there, and you're going to get out of this what you put into it. So hopefully you guys are able to see where this idea of shifting from a mindset of convenience to a mindset of commitment is going to be more freeing, more productive, and more beneficial to your daily life. Take a look at your life right now and decide whether what you're doing in your life is based on commitments. Are you honoring your time commitments? Are you getting done what you need to get done? Or are you constantly flying by the seat of your pants, struggling to get everything done in the time because you really haven't put any effort into organizing? Again, we encourage you guys to post on the blog. Tommy, if you're in a position or a place where you can comment, if there's anything you wanted to add as you were thinking about this idea of commitment and all of that, let me know, and we'd love to hear from you. So you can get and open up your mic if you're in a place where you could do that. Okay, I'm thinking maybe Tommy might be at a place where he's not able to log in. I think I know Ito is telling us there were some things coming up. I know Jen is on the road. So if you guys are watching this and you're, or you're at a place where you're not able to comment, or you're watching it on the blog itself live, please feel free to comment on the blog, and we'll take this conversation to the next level there as well. But I think this is an opportunity for us to really do some terrific stuff. I know that that Robert Brzezinski, for example, is in the process of moving, and so we certainly wish him and his family a wonderful and joy-filled move from Washington to Colorado. Look forward to hearing from him as possible. Not sure if he's going to be able to make it on Friday, but I know that his commitment and his heart is with every single one of you. And and when you're watching this, my brother, yes, we will definitely have a conversation once you get settled in Colorado. And Tommy, thanks for being here. Folks who are watching this on the rebroadcast, thanks for being here. Remember, tomorrow we start at 1:30 Eastern time, a half an hour earlier, so that we can kind of have some more consistency straight across the board. And then I'm going to be doing a 3 o'clock program every week, talking to entrepreneurs who are ready to take their business to the next level and start putting some real money in their pockets. So that'll be a live program that I do at 3 o'clock. All of you are certainly welcome to be on that as well. Until the next time that we get together, stay in the moment. Be grateful for everything that you've got. Recognize that making a commitment and using scheduling and other technology to ensure that you're working smarter and not harder is all about freeing you up so that you're not worrying about anything else that's outside of that moment. You're able to be present. And when you're more present, you're more effective. And that's how peak performance comes about. And always remember, my friends, the best is yet to come. We'll talk to you soon.